It has been 3 years since the Cook Islands held an official FIFA World Ranking. They hadn't played a competitive game since 2015, which was in the 2018 World Cup qualifiers, and then they came to Doha. Now, they only played one game. They were due to play Tonga in the playoff. That got cancelled due to the natural disaster. Then they were due to have their 3 group games against the Solomon Islands, Tahiti and Vanuatu. After the Solomon Islands game, they got COVID, so they weren't able to fulfil their remaining 2 fixtures. Now, as luck would have it, they would never have played Vanuatu anyway, because Vanuatu also got COVID, but they weren't able to play Tahiti either, so they only played one game. This game was against the Solomon Islands, and they fought extremely hard, and they actually played very, very well, only losing 2-0 in that game. I think people expected a bit more of a kind of dominant Solomon Islands scoreline, but alas, it only finished 2-0. But because the fact that the Cook Islands and Vanuatu then went down with COVID, that meant that Tahiti hadn't played anyone. They hadn't played any games, and they were due to play Solomon Islands on the final day, so something needed to be sorted. The difficult thing about it is the Solomon Islands didn't beat the Cook Islands 3-0, because then you could just give everyone a walkover and it would all be the same. They beat them 2-0, which means that if you give Tahiti a walkover against Cook Islands and Vanuatu 3-0, 3-0, they'll technically be in a better position than the Solomon Islands, despite having never played a game yet. So they'll go into that final game looking for top spot in the group, only needing a draw on goal difference, even though they haven't played. So FIFA and OFC had a tough decision to make, and there was fear for the Cook Islands perspective that the game would be scrapped and any official world ranking points that they would get from it would be removed, so they would continue to be an unranked footballing nation. Ultimately, you got to feel sorry for them. Incredible experience to come out here in Doha. They at least took to the field, unlike Vanuatu, but only were able to play one game. But breaking news today is that OFC and FIFA have made the following announcement. The game will not count in terms of this qualification. It is null and void in terms of this qualification. The game didn't happen. There's no goals, there's no bookings. I mean, there weren't any Solomon Islands bookings anyway, but there's no bookings. And Solomon Islands Tahiti will go into the final game on a level playing field. It's just a shootout for top spot in this group. It's a bit of a weird one because it's like a quarter-final, but both teams will go through regardless of who wins and loses. And if it's a draw, does it come down to the alphabet, perhaps? I'm not sure if it's a 1-1 draw. I don't know what happens. I suppose it comes down to the fact that Solomon Islands begins with an S and Tahiti begins with a T. What you do in that circumstance, only the FIFA gods will know. But the important thing from a Cook Islands perspective is whilst the game doesn't count for this qualification, it does count towards their official world ranking. They do get Coca-Cola World Ranking points for that game, meaning that for the first time since 2019, the Cook Islands will gain a world ranking. They've been as high as 167 in the world previously and as low as I think it's 207 for the Cook Islands throughout their history. Where do we think that they'll come this time? They played one game. It was a defeat. But it wasn't a hammering. It was only a 2-0. So I'm not 100% sure how the mystical art of FIFA World Rankings works, but will they come in above San Marino? Will they come in around the kind of 205 region? Don't forget you've got other sides in the World Rankings now that haven't played for a long time. You've got Eritrea, kind of sticks out as a side that haven't played in a very long time. You've of course got Tonga, who sadly had to withdraw from this tournament because of the natural disaster there. You've also got Samoa and American Samoa, who didn't compete in this tournament either. So a number of sides from the OFC that may drop into the realm of the unranked across the next few years, provided that they don't play any games before the next round of World Cup qualifiers, which will be in 2025, all being well. So a long time to go, but the Cook Islands will gain an official world ranking. 203. I'm going to go 203. It's a guess. It's a complete guess. I've gone for 203 in the FIFA World Rankings for the Cook Islands when they are updated. Where do you think that they will be ranked, and how buzzing are you for the Cook Islands that they have at least managed to get out here and get a game under their belts? Absolutely phenomenal that they are in the FIFA World Rankings once again. All the best to the Cook Islands squad. I hope that everyone is okay with COVID. It's a devastating experience, but what a huge What a huge opportunity. I'm so glad for the Cook Islands. They got to play a game and they were absolutely brilliant in that game. So congratulations to them, and I can't wait to see them take the field again. That is all from us. Be prepared to see plenty more previews coming later today and into tomorrow for the upcoming games, the final group games in the OFC World Cup qualifiers. That is all from us. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.